is covered in delicate folds which allow it to expand with each mouthful. Inside, a mixture of enzymes and hydrochloric acid start to digest your food. And very probably, your dinner's still in there. It churns away for about 4 hours. Soon, it'll be released into your small intestine and, at a cue from your brain, bile will be added. This will help you break down fats. You'll be carrying tonight's dinner for about 24 hours. So I hope you liked it.
These are the light guides, and this is the lens.
David also needed to get good pictures of the vocal cords in action.
Yeah.
Until we see the vocal cords.
Right.
And then we'll try to get, we want to do some shots where we'll try and get you to, we'll track across the tongue, but we'll do it in reverse. So we'll probably get lined up, get you to sound a note, and hold it, and then we'll pull out.
Yep.
And all I'm going to do is watch and instruct. When you make a sound, vocal cords vibrate at anything from 100 to maybe 500 or 600 vibrations a second. If you look at them directly under direct light, they're just a blur. If you use a strobe light, then you can effectively halt the movement of the cords. Even though they're vibrating, you stop their apparent movement, and that allows you to see all the interesting little ripples and things that are going on the surface of the cords.
That's phenomenal.
I agreed to do this because I thought it would actually be an interesting experience. It's I've never seen my vocal cords before, and they do look quite cool on the screen. I've never seen them move. I had no idea how they were going to work, so it was very interesting to see.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a sword swallower.
Another day, another orifice, the ear.
That's not showing what we want.
Nothing wrong with my ears. Very good, actually. Well, it's ear of experience. It's a headache.
Just back just a little bit and stop. Okay.
The endoscope is probably not going that far into the head. It probably goes about 1 centimetre. Ear canals tend to be quite bendy and curvy, and so you need this little device just to sort of get you around the corner. And then it's just a matter of how close you want to go. You can go right up, almost touching the drum. And if you do that, if the eardrum is clear enough and clean enough, you are seeing the bones through on the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm happy. Cool.
Throughout the series, we combine documentary filming with endoscopic shots to reveal the intricate workings of the body. However, you can't film everything in the body with an endoscope, so we used another remarkable technique, medical scanning.
When we started the series, we were very keen that we were only going to show things that you really could see inside the body. And that presents a big problem because there are obviously some places that you can't get to with a camera. So we needed some kind of graphic technique, some representation of the body that was accurate, that was really what was going on inside.
In our film on pregnancy, we scanned our mum-to-be, Philippa, in a magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI machine. We did this before she was pregnant, to illustrate the geography of her body. The machine uses magnetic fields to scan slices of her body, which are put together to create the whole image.
The difficulty is that the way it's used in medicine is very opaque, it's very difficult, unless you're really trained, to know, to make sense of that information. So what we set out to do was to use the data that medicine can give us, big scanners, CT scans, MRI scans, and to try and bring to that some of the aesthetic charm and style of television graphics, the kind of things that we're all used to seeing on TV, in computer games. Fly through things, voyage around them. And so we worked with a medical imaging company to write a computer program that could do that for us, that could take what's actually going on inside the body, but look at it in an exciting and stylish way.
So what we've got is we've sculpted out the kidneys and the spleen and the liver here. That was quite easy to do.
And you've just coloured them this way just so you can see them at the moment.
Yeah, they're just arbitrary colours,
Right.
not
Right.
pretty much arbitrary.
I mean, the main thing you find from this stuff, things don't look all symmetrical and neat like they do in the books.
Perfectly.
How they actually are inside your body is quite different.
For all my work on fertility, I've certainly never seen an image of a woman's body quite like this. Look at her ovaries in white and the fallopian tubes next to them.
On average, the sequences, which last about 30 seconds, take a number of months each to create, because you have, from the very beginning, from gathering the data, doing the scan ourselves, or getting the scan data from somewhere in the world that's done that kind of a scan, to actually getting into a visual form, is a number of steps involving several dozen people and at least a couple of months of sequence, I'd have thought.
And here is the brain scan from our puberty program. Peering deep inside the head, you can see where it all happens. Shaded white, it's the body's autopilot, a tiny gland that constantly adjusts things like temperature, blood pressure, thirst, and hunger. It's called the hypothalamus, and it's the driving force behind puberty. We don't have to be inside the body to watch it at work. Using time-lapse photography, we recorded the amazing activity and growth of the body which normally goes unnoticed. This is what hair standing on end looks like. And hair growing. By filming 3 generations of the same family, we've shown the unflattering side of growing old. Time-lapse can also trace the growth of the bones in the hand over 20 years. You can even watch a nail grow. Kathy and Richard Ibbotson, both dentists, carried out a unique time-lapse experiment on their daughter.
Fiona is the youngest of our 3 children. She's just turned 1 in January, and the other 2 are 2 boys, 5 and 3.
When we first had the contact from the BBC, she would have been no more than about 2 months, I guess, something of that sort.
2 or 3 months.
The task was to film Fiona's teeth actually growing.
The main problem was how to fix her head, and we abandoned the idea of doing her lower teeth because we couldn't fix those at all, and we looked at ways of fixing the upper teeth as they were coming through. And I suppose the biggest concern was whether or not that would be possible, how upsetting it would be to her to hold her head completely still for the period of time required to actually do the filming. Although she didn't like it, and she didn't like the bright light shining in her face, I knew that I wasn't, in fact, causing her any pain. One of the problems that we encountered was that as she got older and she got bigger, it was actually more difficult to fix her. So we had to develop a way of keeping her arms down and close to her body so that her little hands wouldn't come up and start shaking the whole contraption about. So that did become a problem. What I couldn't get over was how long it seemed to me to take for the teeth to come through. On a professional basis, I was totally unaware of the length of time from when those teeth first appear through the gum to when they were